Yo, what's up, everybody? It's Chad.
It's Kris.
Alberto.
And you are now listening to Two Dads, One Chad. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, sir. It's a beautiful Monday night, and as always, we like to tap in. So, first, let's start off with whether we accomplished last week's goals.
Oh, hell.
I'll go ahead and say that I think overall I did accomplish my goal of making sure that my kid had the best birthday. I mean, he loved it.
Awesome.
Had an all kids birthday party, so it was his first time where it was like he didn't have to worry about, I got to make sure that I got to say to my aunt, hi to my aunt and uncles and all that. So it was just by him and his friends. So he said it was his best birthday party up to date. So that was awesome. And so I'm glad I got to achieve that goal, and now I got to look forward to my next baby boy. His birthday's in May, so got a plan to that. How about you, Chad?
Yeah,
This
I
week,
definitely.
how did
Nah, bro.
you?
I feel like I had a little bit too much dip on my chip last week. We talked about
kind of
that.
dip?
Now, what kind of dip? Yes, but who put that dip there?
No, it wasn't even that. It's the fact that I was like, man, like I really feel like, cause I'm open about like who I am, and like so I feel like I talk about women a lot because I mean, like I said, I am like I'm out here. I guess you could say, in a sense. So I am looking for a particular lady, and she hasn't come as yet. So kind of in the process.
Sounds like a personal problem.
Yeah, it is. So in talking to these like different, and then like I said, not even all of them are like trying to be like a romantic thing. It could just be like I got a couple of female friends that I speak to on the regular that we're just good friends. Like that's.
So for the people that are jumping in for this episode, Chad, his goal last week was to minimize the conversations with the ladies.
Yeah.
He was okay with keeping the man conversations, just keeping the lady conversations to a minimum. And he obviously he failed, but he failed successfully. He did give it the old college try.
I tried.
I told him to destroy his phone. That's just it.
I ran it over, and it. He's got one of them Nokia bricks from like
for real.
2003.
Get an iPhone, Chad. I done told you.
Yeah, well, okay, it is.
Get an
Nokia.
iPhone, because if you want to fuck it up, it's real easy.
Yeah.
But anyways, jumping back, just so everyone has a little background of what we're talking about.
So, with me being kind of putting myself back out there to get into like the dating game after being married for a little while, I do like tend to like talk to more women now than I did before.
Because you're single?
Because I'm single, and like I said,
You heard that, ladies?
and now I'm in a place now where I'm actually like, okay, I want to be in a relationship again. I feel like I'm just having that person like there as much as possible there to tell my stuff to tell their stuff to me.
But do you think putting the bait out there for multiple people is the best way to find the one you're looking for?
No, okay. Yes and no, because like technically it's not like the bait is being thrown out there, and at this point, like I did that at first. I threw out my little feelers, like okay, but now
you're a little warm out there.
But now I got it. I feel like I'm talking to somebody now that I feel like that is probably gonna be my next relationship for sure.
Whoa.
And
I'm trying.
And like now, it's like just having these different communications with like different women. That, like, so it's like I'm
You need to cut off the hole.
Yeah, time out.
Yeah.
You think you found the one,
And then you're having.
and then you're still talking to other girls?
No, not like that though. Not.
You need to cut that shit out. Regardless, it doesn't matter how it's like.
And then I'm like I said, I'm open and I'm honest. So
Are you open and honest to this other girl?
Yes, she knows. She knew who I was when she met me. Like, not to say that I'm doing anything sketchy.
And who are you, Chad? A hoe? 'Cause that's what you sound like.
Some people could have said at one point in life I probably was. I had whore tendencies.
Yeah, the meat of the streets. That's who you were, Chad.
So, let's talk about what did you think prevented you from fulfilling your goal?
I just like talking. I talk a lot.
You know, every time you were going to talk to a girl, you were supposed to talk to me and Alberto. And I'll show everyone my text right now.
That is
you
true.
don't text from Chad this weekend. Sad.
No communication.
I'm not gonna go into that. I'm not gonna take that bait. All I can say is,
No, it's not bait. Those are facts.
all I can say is, like, normally when we have our conversations, it's talking about the show and work. But I don't know. I don't know. I can't really. I was about to go somewhere, but then I had I feel like
You had epiphany?
like y'all have welcomed me into the group, and I feel like I'm a part of everybody now. But at the same time, I still like kind of hold back some things at sometimes. Because like I said, I'm pretty cool with y'all. Like, I'm pretty much honest.
Chad, if you like anime, you can just.
I do like anime,
Okay.
but that's
fine.
the point I'm making is like I still feel like I still have a little bit of closed offness sometimes, because like I don't be wanting to like bore y'all with like shit that's going on. Even though like this probably won't be boring you, like me, like saying if I had like a problem or something, but like I really don't like to bother too many people at times, like with my issues. So I don't really, I don't know. I mean, like I said, I do like to talk a lot, but a lot of times I'm not talking about my issues.
Yeah.
How about you, Kris? How about you?
Yeah, so, I wanted to get back on a routine with just life in general. I feel good about how this last week went. Did I get everything done I needed to? No. But I did kind of structure everything out and was able to complete, for the most part, everything on my checklist. And yeah, I mean, this next week, today started off pretty hectic. Full page of to-do list, got them all knocked out. Yeah.
Do you feel like you're back on schedule?
I don't feel like I'm back on schedule 100%. No. I mean, every day is kind of a toss-up, especially in like our professional life.
Right.
Like, I have multiple stores. So if something ever goes on, like, hey, at 7 o'clock, hey, I'm going to work at your store today. Hey, man, 10:30, I'm not working at your store today.
Yeah.
So, things pop up and there's nothing I can really do about it. It's, the name of the game.
Right.
But as far as goals last week, I'm excited to set a new goal for this next week. I'm excited to hold everyone accountable. Mm-hmm. And, this is new to us. So we'll be able to hold each other accountable more and more every week. We'll start hitting our goals and succeeding. Mm-hmm. And, it's a growth opportunity for all of us. It's a growth opportunity for the podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel good about my last week.
Hey.
It's good, man.
No. But we've all shared our we're reminiscing over last week, so let's set our new goals for this week. And since your boy Kris is on the mic, I'm gonna go ahead and my new goal for this week, I did something today with my wife and went to this class and learned a bunch of stuff, and I want to build a better relationship with my daughter again and be able to really, dig in and see what what's bothering her. I know when we had our second kid, she kind of felt like neglected, and it's kind of gotten worse over the years. I'm tired when I get off work. I get angry. I react a lot out of anger and stuff like that. So I want to take a step back and really get to know my daughter more this week, so me and her can build a relationship like we used to have. So pretty big goal, but I think it's possible, and it's something next week I can already tell everyone that I'm not going to succeed in this goal, but I will make progress.
Steps.
Yeah, I'll take the steps. I'll make progress towards the overall goal, which is for me and her to have a better relationship.
Right on. How about you, Chad?
To what we had previously talked about.
Settling down.
No, not necessarily that, but as far as communication.
With who? Just in general, or?
Yeah, that's gonna be my goal for this week. I want to be a better communicator and listener.
Tell us to who and to what.
To everybody, anybody. Like, I feel like I get wrapped up in my own stuff sometimes.
Like stop holding everything in and like come out with it.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So I get wrapped up in. Like I feel like.
Are you scared what people are gonna think?
A little.
Yeah.
I'm not necessarily scared, but
You don't want to bother them.
I don't want to bother them, and then like I really like I'm a sensitive guy, so I don't want to be judged by the thoughts that I have, because I mean not everybody's gonna have these same thoughts, and I don't know. It's not that I don't want somebody to look different upon me, but it's just like I couldn't, like, if I'm trying to like be honest with myself, like I can't really take like much criticism, like especially with dealing with my like mental health and stuff like that. Like I feel like if you're criticizing me for what I'm going through, then that's like a super personal attack on me. So it's gonna make me feel a type of way. And I know it may not even be like meant in that way. Like you could just be commenting, but I just may not like
What you're saying.
Yeah, what you're saying. So I have to take things like, I have to make sure I take things not so literal.
You gotta take it with a grain of salt.
Basically, like I have to, if I choose to open up, like I can't feel like I'm being attacked in the same. If somebody has like okay, like so to say, like we just talked about the women. Like if you give me an opinion that I don't like about it, I shouldn't feel a type of way about your opinion. Is what I'm getting at.
Right. So your goal this week is just to make sure that like you don't care, you know, what necessarily comes after the conversations you need to have.
Mm-hmm.
That's fine, man. I mean, we wish you the best with that goal, because I mean that is tough, but it's something that you're gonna have to feel like you can bury and finally get over.
Yeah.
Also, it's one of the goals like mine, where next week when we talk about it, that one doesn't have to be a failure. That's not going to change overnight. So it's another one of those successful failures where just make progress in the right direction.
Yeah.
And then, we'll build on it.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, for me, my goal this week is just to make sure that I finish up a few things here at the house to finally like say, okay, everything's done. My lady did. Big shout out to my wife. She put in our toilet in our sink. She's my beautiful,
what did
handy
she put
woman.
in your toilet?
She just, she does amazing work. It's crazy. Like she does it. I just sit there and take pictures of her for her to share with her group chat. But my goal is just to make sure, we put the finishing touches on everything, and we put the caulk in on the trim and
What?
yeah, you heard that.
Caulk?
Caulk
Yeah.
on the trim and on the rim.
Yeah. Yep.
But no, that's my big goal for the week, is just to finish that up and just make our house finally our home again.
Yeah.
So hopefully we get that taken care of this week.
Yeah.
Big goals for all of us. So hopefully
Yes,
when we
sir.
tap in next week, we can, high five.
Tap out.
Yo, Chad and the fellas, what's good, man? It's your boy G, big time supporter of Chad, ex-co-host of Chad and all this shit. So, man, really appreciate y'all for taking the show to a new level and helping my guy Chad out with taking his podcast stuff to the next level for real. But one of my goals for this week is I hope that I've lost more weight with being on my fitness journey. So I hope that I've lost 10 more pounds this month, and I weigh in on Monday, so hopefully I did it. So thank y'all.
My name is Danielle from the No Shade podcast, and my goal is to wake up at 5 a.m. and work out in my room. Pray for me, because it's hard to, get out the bed at that time of morning, but it's a must.
It's your girl, Sherry Cole, and my goal for the week is to make it to the gym at least 4 days out of this week, because I've been slacking because 5:30 a.m. kills me. And also to make my personal quota for my charcuterie boxes.
Chad, you weren't lying earlier when you said that you like to talk a lot.
Yes.
You talk a lot.
I know. I do definitely talk a lot.
So with that said, like what do you love about that? What makes you want to talk a lot?
So the talking a lot comes from just being just somebody that I would like. I'm a fun loving guy. I like to joke around. I talk to everybody, and then as far as like I even like to introduce people to conversations and bring it up, like, and be like, hey, what do you got to say about this, or what do you got to say about it? So, with that being said, this week we are going to be discussing communications in all forms of life, whether it be like in your relationships or in life or in work or just in general, like any type of conversations you like to have. So, Christopher, with you having like multiple titles throughout the day, Alberto as well, you guys have to have communication in pretty much in all forms of life throughout the day. I only really have to have like communication at work or like in personal time, but you guys like actually have to have like whether it's like communication with kids or communications in marriage, and then as far in business and just everyday life outside of that. So what's something that you two guys, what are your experiences with communication?
Yeah, I mean, communication is something where I'm still working on it every day.
Uh-huh.
There's no manual to it. So I start the day. I'm a dad. Very quickly, I turn into a boss, and then I get off work. I turn into a dad again. Turn into a husband. So communication to me is it's something I'm working on. It's probably one of the biggest weaknesses I have, opportunities I have.
Mm-hmm.
We don't call them weaknesses. They're opportunities because it's room to grow.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I mean, so, my biggest opportunity would be communication, whether it's at work or at home. You said we're bringing different, we're wearing different pants throughout the day,
mm-hmm.
right? So I like to start my day. It's crazy. I got to figure out what all my GMs are doing.
Mm-hmm.
I got to make sure they're staffed. And we talked about it earlier. Alberto, I could tell him like, hey, I'll be at your store at 11 o'clock to work lunch.
Mm-hmm.
By 8:30, shoot, by 7 o'clock in the morning, 7:15, I can know like, hey, this ain't gonna happen today.
Yeah.
But I got to communicate with him so he can be like, hey, Alberto, I'm not gonna make it to your store today. So go ahead and just plan on, running the shift at like you had it, and go from there. And then
I'll be like, oh, no, that's cool. I appreciate you checking in with us. We're going to be good over here. Take care of business, big boss.
But, part of communication with my wife has gotten better. We use a calendar.
Mm-hmm.
So we just have a calendar on the wall next to where we hang our keys. Anytime we have an event going on, We go to the date, we put down the time, we write it on there. It's kind of like first come, first serve. So, you know, if I have something come up and she already has something written down for that day, we can talk about it. But,
Right. But
you know.
you already, yeah,
you know, you already know.
you're already late to the party.
Exactly. So with with home life, it's gotten a lot better. With work, the communication, being passive aggressive at work is really easy to do.
Mm-hmm.
So building communication and getting rid of the passive aggressiveness and just being more straightforward and to the point is something that I've tried to, over the last year, tried to get better at. And
That's really hard because you're also trying to be constructive with
exactly.
Trying to be.
So, you know, you can, being straightforward, you can come across as a dick. You can come across as an asshole, someone who doesn't care.
Yeah.
Luckily, I have all my managers, for the most part, understand, like, I care. And so I don't really have to skirt around that too much.
Yeah.
Communication also, the other side of it is that other person has to listen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when you're trying to communicate with someone, the other person has to reciprocate, you know, what you're trying to communicate.
Yeah.
I went to this thing tonight and we're talking about talking to our kids and figuring out the best way to have conversations with your kids and make them feel secure and safe and not want to be like distant or anything like that. So, you know, I react a lot out of anger at home. I'm tired at the end of the day. My daughter's tired. We get into it a lot. You know, we go back to the tap in segment with Alberto, and one of the things I want to build a relationship with my daughter, and a lot of that starts with communication.
Yeah.
So I want to, you know, be able to assess the situation, gain, you know, clear mindfulness, be able to analyze what's going on and figure out the best way to communicate this going forward.
Yeah.
So, you know, communication to me is super important, but it's also, like I said earlier, one of my biggest opportunities as a husband, a father, and a boss.
Right on. No, I mean, I get that. Communication is super important. And like the thing with me, I'm very shut off. Like I'm probably one of the worst people when it comes to communication. Like I don't like having the responsibility to respond to everything and everyone. You know what I mean? Yeah. So for me, it's easier to just shut it off. But like I need to learn how to grow out of that, because the more I communicate with not just, you know, people in my personal life, with my staff and all that, but with my wife, I think the things that I might need to work on or even that I might complain about should be fixed with me just communicating a little bit more. You know what I mean? So for me, communication is important, but I never prioritize it the way it needs to be.
Yeah.
And so, you know, with the goals and with this podcast, you know, that is my goal, is to grow as a person and to communicate more, and just to, if I don't want to do something, let somebody know straight up, like, hey, I can't, or I don't want to, you know what I mean? Set boundaries. That way I just protect myself and my time. Right. But also, like, I'm sometimes a friend that's like, dang, you didn't invite me. You know what I mean? Even though I probably wouldn't have gone. You know what I mean?
I'm the same way. Like,
yeah. So like, I don't want to be like that anymore. I want to, you know, if I can make it, hell yeah, I'm gonna make it. If I can't, I'll just let you know straight up, like, hey, you know, appreciate you letting me, you know, including me in this plan, but unfortunately not tonight. Yeah. So yeah, that's why I think communication is super important with that. You know,
that's part of also just growing up in general, because I feel I'm right there with you. You know, someone will text me and they'll say, hey, we're doing something at the house this weekend. Like, can you make it? Me knowing 100% I'm not making it.
Yeah.
I'll be like, oh yeah, let me talk to my wife and see what I can do.
Sure.
Which instantly is, he's not coming.
I miss that excuse.
Bro, that's the awesome thing about being married. You checking that card every time you you don't really want to do it, then it's like, let me talk to my wife.
Yeah, bro. You said abuse the shit.
And my lady hates me for it because like, why do you always got to throw me in this? You know what I mean? Like, you can do it too. You can tell them like, hey, check in with my husband.
My husband said no.
Yeah.
Damn, your husband's a dick.
You, Chad?
Yeah, so like going on from y'all, like I don't have to do as much communication throughout the day as y'all do because like I really only communicate at work and at home. Like
When you're running late for work, you could call the store.
I do.
Like you're supposed to.
I do.
When you're going to the wrong building for a certain doctor appointment, like you should communicate with yourself correctly.
Okay, so okay.
Oops. Someone stuck a finger in my ass, and
Yeah.
that wasn't even a doctor.
Wow. So yes, I failed. Well,
failed?
In that instance, I failed myself. I failed communicating with myself as I went to the wrong medical building. Ended up all the way across town at the wrong place. And
What we have here is a failure to communicate.
yeah, that's what I say.
Is that major pain?
I failed to communicate with myself properly on where I was supposed to be at what time, and so
It's okay, Chad. So Chad, going back to your marriage. So me and Alberto know the communication within a relationship is one of the most important things. What do you think that you and your wife,
Ex-wife.
ex-wife, had the proper communication between y'all?
At first, yeah, I feel like we communicated very well.
Like, do you think that
early on
communication might have been the reason?
problem? Well,
So you
completely. Yeah, probably it was. I would say communication probably was about 40% of the reason why.
So you said, we didn't let you finish, but you said the beginning was good with communication.
Oh yeah.
What
Yeah,
what made it change?
Man, if I'm being honest, I don't know. I really don't know how it like changed. Like from like one day we're like super happy, and then a few days later, it's just like things weren't happy. Where we stopped communicating. Like we were like there will be days where we probably didn't say. Like, we probably said less than 10 words to each other, but especially towards the end. Like literally.
So like, do you think like you guys had a like problem, like just talking like all the time?
Yeah, it was like, and then I feel like once we got into I feel like once we hit like the real bad rough patches, and then we didn't communicate. Like that's pretty much what led up to.
Do you have like you said less than 10 words. Did you have like a few like special words for that? Like, oh, I can only say 10 words today, so I'm only gonna say like pass the butter. You know what I mean? Or high five. Yeah.
No, but it would be like hi, bye, see you later, good night. And
So with that, like, what do you take from that with your new relationship that you're trying to build?
definitely
now? Like,
in the future, like I always have like I can't be the one to shut down, because if I'm the one that shuts down, then that's just like the worst thing. So I have to make sure I keep my line of communication open with the next person I decide to be with. Like I always have to make sure I keep like we need to talk about all these things. I can't shut down. I can't just not talk about it. Just let it be. I can't do none of that. I have to make sure keeping these lines of communication open. Like, what's your problem? Let's talk about the problem. Let's fix the problem, and then go from there. Because I definitely was at the.
but you
when I was
mentioned
at the
earlier
end-
that you're not a person that takes criticism well. So like, how do you plan on?
Do you feel personally attacked when someone tells you you're not doing something correctly? Don't smile. This is a legit question.
For real.
I mean, you can smile.
It's I don't take it all as a personal attack, But I feel like sometimes, like somebody, like I'll ask for somebody's opinion. And if they tell me the opinion that they have, and it doesn't line up to what I wanted them to say or what I was hoping they'd say, then I'll feel a type of way about it. But it's not completely like, oh, I feel like you're like just outright attacking me. It's just me just being upset in the moment because I thought you were gonna have one thought, and then when you tell me something that like even contradicts me and my thoughts, then I have to be like, well, damn, like I wasn't trying to think about it from that way, but. Damn,
But that's how you got to view some things, though. You got to view it from different ways. You know what I mean? Like Kris said, when he gives some certain criticism to somebody, it's only going to work if that other person takes what he's given them. So, like, you have to take what is given to you, like, or what is said to you. Like, hey, if you need to work on this, then you should.
Yeah.
Instead of like, oh, why should I? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But also, piggybacking on that though is you, as a manager, I've learned that. And maybe not so much in my personal life, just because I've been bad at communication in my personal life. But as a boss, you can't talk to everyone the same.
Yeah, absolutely.
I can't talk to Alberto like I talk to, one of my other GMs.
Yeah, random employee.
Yeah, or like, well, no, everyone's different. Like I know if you're having a bad day, I'm going to talk to you, but I know how to go about talking to you. And how I talk to you is different from how I talk to, let's say, Josh Gonzalez.
Yeah.
It's just different. Because I know that you're not going to take any kind of smart ass or extreme criticism really well.
Yeah, like even if
for Josh, I can be like, hey man, what the fuck happened? Yeah, you fucking suck, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. I still don't do that, but like, you know what I'm saying?
But I get what you're saying. Like, even if I'm having, like, even if you see that I might be having a bad day that day or something, I might not be okay. You know that us having that, like, we're familiar with each other.
Yeah.
Like, you, like, fucking with me or saying a joke to me isn't going to make me feel a different way.
Yeah.
Than you
that or the other day, I feel like you were kind of out of it. So instead of even saying something to you, I just kind of, like, put my hand on your shoulder, hey, it's going to be all right. Yeah, just little stuff like that. Sometimes doing stuff in the moment isn't the best time to do it at all. So, there's verbal communication and there's nonverbal communication. So being able to read body language, being able to assess the situation and know, like, oh, it's a busy day. Let's take a time out. This is not the time to do it. We'll wait until tomorrow, get through today, and go from there.
Yeah, because now I feel like, because like we have those days, like when we like getting slammed and getting our asses kicked, like it's only like a certain few people that can like withstand and be like, all right, we just gonna fucking ride it out, and whatever happens throughout the day happens. But it doesn't mean I've been on all sides of it where it's fucking chaos or whether we just all stay like, all right, we're gonna hold it down together and just fucking just work it out. So
this is Sparta.
So yeah, I know how it goes. And Alberto, like we've been in there like many days. Like,
oh, you got to be quicker than that.
We've been in there many days to where like, shit's about to go to hell.
Yeah. No, Chad, that's the thing. So I mean, with your future relationship, please take into account you as a man have to take the criticism that is handed to you.
Yeah.
You as a man have to communicate your feelings.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And if something's pissing you off, I mean, if you feel like that's going to create too much tension in the room or whatever, like it's probably needed so you can do that. You know what I mean? So communicate with yourself as far as how you want to feel and your feelings. And then with your lady.
Yeah. So yeah, I definitely do. I definitely do plan on. I definitely do plan on, like I said, like keeping communication open, make sure we're discussing everything, and
that goes for sex too.
Yeah. Tell her what you like. Tell her what you don't like, Chad.
I mean,
because you know what happened last time.
Yeah, we don't finger popping each other's assholes.
I mean, I'm pretty open about that aspect. like most of the time, but I definitely need to continue the communication on all forms.
And don't let, because this is a growth for all of us. Don't let someone else bring you down from the growth and communication.
Yeah.
If you're open with someone and they are not necessarily, they don't like it, then that's another conversation where it's like, hey, I am trying to better myself and get better at this. If you cannot help me grow and grow with me, then we're going to have to separate ties.
Yeah.
And this is when life becomes hard, because in our 30s, the amount of friends we have shrinks. Yeah. But how close they are and the quality, the validity to them and the quality, it gets better. So, if you have a friend, say you're 35 and something extremely bad happens, you have 3 friends that you can call and they will be there. Yeah. So, but communication, man, it's a great topic. I'm glad that you wanted to talk about this tonight, and hopefully our audience can take some stuff from it, and we can move on and grow in other areas of our lives. Yeah, so we have this new segment at the end where we just kind of recap everything, and I communication is extremely important to me, and what we just talked about is growth in life in general. So we have our goals we all set. I want to be a better communicator with my daughter and rebuild our relationship. Alberto wants to finish his, if y'all know anything about this dude's house and what he's gone through, he wants to finish what he's got to do at his house so that he can start living a normal life, to be honest with you. And we got Chad, who wants to be a better communicator all around. He wants to be able to talk to people, say what he's feeling like at the moment, not bottle things up. And if you've dealt with our podcast in the past, Chad battles with depression. So getting his voice out there and being able to communicate to everyone when he needs to is super important for his growth as a person.
And it's a big step.
Huge step. Huge step. So recapping our communication segment with Chad, there's so many different aspects of communication. You can be a husband, boyfriend, girlfriend, parent, just caretaker in general. You be a boss.
Yes, a sneaky thing. Yeah.
Yes, a munch.
Yeah.
You have to be able to communicate and not be afraid of any kind of repercussions that come from it. Be true to yourself. Talk about what you need to talk about. Be smart about it. Don't say dumbass shit that's going to get you slapped. But just look at what you need to say, and communication, man, it's just going to help everyone grow. And finding someone who you can talk to about anything. Yeah. You're talking about finding the next one. You think you're ready? I'm not saying you're not. I'm just saying you think you're ready to find the next one. But you have to be ready to communicate with them. Because that's a huge step in a relationship, is the communication part. You can't build a relationship on lies. You got to communicate. It's got to be a trusting relationship where you can be open with the person, be open to constructive criticism, love them when, it doesn't feel like they're actually loving you, It's like, you still want to stick through it and not give up. So communication, as I've already recalled everything and talked about it, and there's a lot more to it. Chad, what's your takeaway on communication, and what's the biggest thing that you've taken away tonight and that you want to do going forward besides your goal, as far as building a relationship with another female? What's your biggest takeaway and what you want to do moving forward?
I definitely want to be like definitely more, I guess, have more broader communication. Like make sure like you said, like if I'm having like a mental issue, like not just to go hide it out or just sit and try to let it pass. Actually talk about that and convey my feelings and things like that. Like, hey, I'm not really having a good day mentally, struggling. I mean, I might just need you just to lead on for that moment. And not to say I'm just gonna just put all my shit on somebody, but it goes both ways.
Well, that's part of building a relationship, though. You can't hide. You can't have skeletons in the closet. You can't. You gotta be open with them, and they're gonna love you for who you are.
True.
And if they're not willing to stand by you in those times of need, then it's time to move on. But I think that's important for your growth as well. Is to understand and realize when someone is not supporting you, and to break those ties quick. In the industry, we have a slogan, quick, or what is it? Slow to hire, quick to fire. So take your time, you hire them, you train them properly, and if they don't work out and you gave it your all, then you got to cut them ties.
Yeah.
So
For sure.
do you feel like that's something that you can do?
Yeah.
I mean, I know it's a work in progress. Nothing that we talk about on this show is going to happen overnight.
Yeah,
All the goals we set are not obtainable in 1 week, but it's something that we can do. We can do better each week.
I definitely feel like I am in the space now where I think I'll be okay. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
Well, it
definitely
feels good to like get what you need to say out there and like finally get that off your chest. So like you're saving yourself so much, mental space by letting it all out.
Yeah.
So I mean, please let it out. Let whoever you need to tell.
Let it go.
Yeah, man.
Alberto, communication. What's your biggest takeaway with communication, and how are you going to grow? How are you going to move forward and grow from better communication?
I mean, just like what I just said right now is just letting what needs to be said be said. You know what I mean? If I have something come up at work and I know it needs to be handled, not by me personally, but my staff, communicating that goal with them and like, hey, we need to work on our accuracy on orders or our speed on orders. You know what I mean? Letting everybody know so that way we're all on one page. Because when everybody, that's what makes our store so special, right? It's like when we're all on one page, it's a fine old machine, right? And it's awesome because we're kicking ass, we're making sandwiches, we're getting orders out, and we all feel great about it because we're all shining in that moment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So when everything's
like a diamond?
so when everything and everybody's on the same page because you're communicating effectively, then it's a beautiful process. So
I mean, I don't know why I just thought about it, but with communication, it's transparency. That's one of the best synonyms for that is transparency. It's being able to just open up and be see-through, and everyone sees what you're talking about, what you're doing, what your goals are, and just being transparent as a person allows the people around you to more understand and fully understand you as a person.
Yeah.
So that's another thing. Like communication, it's growth for you, but having the people around you understand and get to know you better is being transparent and having that communication so they can see you.
Yeah.
plus it's important, like in our relationships, the communication that our ladies know, hey, we hear you.
Oh yeah.
Like if we're fucking up, like please let us know so that way we can find the correct action.
Exactly, yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I mean, your lady's always gonna be, you know, the person to tell you when you aren't. You know what I mean? And that's the person you're always gonna listen to. You know what I mean? That's the person you can trust their judgment as far as if you're doing things right or if you're communicating things right. And so hopefully you find that in who you're trying to communicate with, because when my lady tells me something, trust me, I try to fix it ASAP because she's worth that much.
Yeah.
Whatever I have to do, I'll fix it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so communication, it's a growth project for all of us. We have so many things that we need to grow on as people, as husbands, as fathers, as co-workers, and I feel, I feel like
Sneaky links.
yeah. I don't even know what the fuck y'all are talking about. I'm in the zone. I'm trying to inspire people, and all you guys are over here talking about sneaky snakes and stuff.
Yeah.
But no, having that humility is, another big part of the communication is being able to, just being able to accept the feedback from that communication. Like you when you communicate with someone, you're gonna have feedback. So being able to take that feedback. So, like, if I'm Alberto, you're doing this wrong, and then he pops back and he's like, hey, well, I've asked you to do this, and I haven't gotten support doing this. I have to be able to take a step back, look at myself, and understand, wow, I communicated with him, shots fired back, he's communicating with me, and then humbleness and humility, being able to digest all that and come out a better person at the end and grow and not just shut down. Because it's such an easy thing to do is shut down, especially when you know you're wrong. You either dig yourself in a lie or you start getting defensive, which is one of my biggest problems, is getting defensive. And then moving on from there. But all the listeners out there, I hope everyone understands the importance of communication. I hope everyone sees us on the streets and supports us in our goals, and just keeps tuning into this podcast that we've created to better grow ourselves, and hopefully all of you listeners out there. So yeah, this has been a great time tonight.
Yeah, communicate, y'all.
Yeah.
Communication.
Yeah, communicate with us when you see us. So if you listen to the show, let us know, please.
And keep letting us know your goals, because we love that. We love that.
Yeah.
Jordan, we hear you. Cornelia, we hear you. We love y'all. Big D, we hear you.
All right, and we are out.
Encore.
Thank you.